Approach, prisoner.
Hello and welcome, y'all. Today we're going to be taking a look into Dune Awakening again. This time we're going to be looking at vehicles in the game. I know I'm very limited on what information I can give based off of what was provided to me. Yes, I have been playing the beta, but the footage that I'm showing and images that I'm showing are not my own. They're what's provided by Funcom. And everything, of course, is subject to change since we are still in beta. We'll go ahead and go over things that we can see, things that we may know already. So let's get to it. The first vehicle in the game that I'd like to go over is one that we've probably seen a lot in other videos and images and things like that. It is the sand bike right here. This 3-wheel vehicle, this off-road bike. This is the one that we've seen pretty often so far, and it's going to be your first vehicle that you get. I mean, as you see even in the video clips that we have right now, you see the character driving along the sand in the bike. So this is the one we're going to see first off. If you look behind them, you can see a second seat, so we can very much assume that you are able to ride around with a passenger, which I think is freaking awesome, because me personally, I don't always like to be the one driving. I don't mind being a passenger princess from time to time. So there is that possibility, it looks like, which is amazing. But you come over here to your fabricator. This is where you're going to be crafting the pieces for your sand bike once you have learned them. So you do have to craft each individual piece. It tells you right at the bottom what it's going to cost to craft it. And then as you select each item, it'll show up on the right side in your queue. And then up at the top where it says completed, it'll show basically just that, what's completed. At the very, very top, there's the option for storage. When you click on storage, it'll show you literally everything that's completed sitting there just within the storage of the bench. So you will need copper to get the first level of the sand bike crafted. That refinery is where you can get your copper turning into ingots. You're definitely going to need that as well. You will need your welding torch. The welding torch is going to be what helps you to assemble the bike, to change out what mods you have on the bike, and you will also use that for taking things off if you're wanting to switch them out. You will use that for repairing your bike too. So you're going to need that welding torch. That's going to be a huge, huge help. So right here, they've got each piece one by one attached to the bike. That's what you're going to use that welding torch for there. Once it's all assembled and it's fueled up, you are good to go. And down on the bottom right, it does show you what mods you have on the bike. So you see the seat for the passenger seat. You know you've got that on there. It shows you where it has this little icon of the bike itself. That shows you your durability. You know whether something's getting damaged or whether it's still at 100% or still at least good to go. So that's something to keep an eye on. The riding on the sand with the bike, it's a lot of fun. It's fast, it's a lot of fun, but the worm meter will be kicking up a lot more because you are sending a lot more sound, like the vibration through the sand, so it's gonna attract the worm more. So just keep an eye on that. Right here, if you notice, the character was off the bike and you saw the heat rising to where they were starting to get into that heat stroke. But once you get on your bike, the heat stroke starts going down. So you're not gonna actually build up any kind of heat stroke while you're on the bike, which is amazing. So if you're struggling, just sit on your bike for a minute, get off, you'll be fine. Or at least, while you're riding around, you don't have to worry about that. So that's a huge plus in my opinion, because you're going to spend a lot of time in the sun, like right here. So it would be kind of a nuisance to have to constantly keep worrying about being in the shade even when you're on the bike. So you don't have to worry. And right here, you pull up with your friends. You can ride in your own little sand bike gang. It seriously is a fun vehicle to ride around on, especially when you just want to get in and out of an area quickly. One thing you'll notice just right here, do you see how the tread, it basically splits into two? So that makes you wonder, would this technically be a 3-wheeled bike? Or is this a 4? Because the back two are close together like that. So interesting, huh? Personally, I feel like it would be 4 because they're separated. It's 2 different treads. So technically you have 4 treads altogether that you're on the bike right here. But I just thought it was something that was interesting. I thought it was kind of cool how when the bike goes left and right and maneuvers that they move like that. It was kind of a cool little feature. Now, whether the bike can outrun the worm or not. That is something that will be determined later on. Do you feel like testing it? Do you want to poke the worm and see if he can nibble your booty while you're riding on the bike? I must say, I am pretty curious, and you better believe that is one of the first things that I would test personally, because, you know, it's me. I like the big worms. I think they're freaking awesome. Whether or not you get eaten, see. The next vehicle I want to take a look at is the buggy. So this is the bigger four-wheeled vehicle right here that we see in this image. Very limited on the information that I can provide for it. But as you can see, there are four wheels. It still has the tread, so it can run on the sand perfectly fine. If you see the top of it, it looks like there's something there. So I don't know whether it could be a mining tool or some kind of scanner, or I mean, who knows? It could be something there useful. We don't know. We'll find out later. It does look like it could be multiple seater, so like multiple people could sit in it at the same time, but we don't know. I am very curious about that. It makes sense that it would be, but we don't know. So that's something we'll have to come back later when we have more information to see what we can provide. But that is a vehicle that I'm pretty excited. It seems very useful. The last one I want to take a look at is the Ornithopter. So right here we have an image of two Ornithopters. This is the first one, the closest one to us that we can see. Again, can't give a lot of information because I can't see a lot of information here, and I know we're very limited. You can see here it has the wings, it's got the body. You can see the landing gear folded up right there. Can't really see much else to know if there's anything else that's useful, like any kind of tools or anything on here. But if you look up to the top, that second Ornithopter looks different. So then you gotta wonder, are there different versions of these vehicles, or is there just a different version of the Ornithopter? Does each vehicle have their own different variants? It's something to think about, you know, like what options do we have all along the way for these three vehicles? But I'm enjoying this so far. I mean, this bike that we're able to see more information on because we can actually see the gameplay and see the videos for, it definitely is a lot of fun. So it's something to look forward to once we can get into Dune Awakening for the release. I am super freaking excited, y'all. I do have a link in the top right that leads to another Dune Awakening video that I've done. I will definitely have more coming, so keep an eye out. Please remember to like and subscribe for more Dune Awakening information and videos as we are able to release them. This game is epic and amazing, and I'm super excited to share more. Keep an eye out, and remember, y'all are freaking amazing.
There is always work to be done.